What if I told you that almost an entire generation of rap just disappeared, seemingly overnight? One day there, the next vanished. While a lot of people would say that I'm probably exaggerating, I'm not. Today, we are talking about the SoundCloud era. Today, I'd like to try and explain why I think this entire generation has mostly been wiped out. I would also like to mention that this is weird, right? Because you look at the blog era, and they still have Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, J. Cole, A$AP Rocky, Schoolboy Q, Freddie Gibbs, and many more, still making music with large fan bases, and they've continued to evolve their craft. So, this is, to my knowledge, something that has never happened before in rap. So it blows my mind that not very many people are talking about this. Anyways, starting with some of the big names, some of which I just got done talking about in my last video about the next generation of rap, so go watch that if you haven't. We are of course talking about the 2016 XXL freshman class. These guys were all the hype back then. Let's start with our first one, Kodak Black. Mr. Yak is a man who has sadly been in jail multiple times, and has struggled with his addiction to hard drugs such as Percocets. There are many videos out there where you can just see the man tweaking in public or on live streams, and it's very sad, because this has come in the way of his music, and since then his music has taken a very sharp downward turn. I also feel I should mention that when Kodak got shot, he got prescribed perks by his doctor, and a lot of fans think and like to point to that being when his music started taking the nosedive because of his addiction. I've also seen videos of Kodak saying that he is in rehab, though I do not know how true that is. Moving on, Lil Uzi Vert was once a groundbreaking artist. Before him, no rapper was really dyeing their hair or using those nerdy bars. He really helped popularize those things. But he got stuck in his own sound, and he tried pivoting towards a more punk rap sound with the release of Pink Tape. Uzi would go on to have an abominable album run with Pink Tape and then EA2, and he's since been steadfast in decreasing the quality of his art. Next up is 21 Savage, and this guy probably had the simplest downfall of them all. Matter of fact, I'm going to only give myself 20 seconds, unscripted, to explain it, starting now. 21 Savage was a rapper who was born in London. He was raised in ATL though. He started his career out as a gangster rapper. He would then get immediate success doing that, so he would never actually have to pivot his work in his early days. Then because he didn't have to pivot his work when his career started falling off because people didn't really like him that much after he told all of his stories that he had to tell, he never knew how to pivot. So he never did pivot, so he's still doing gangster rap. And that's it, and I'm way over time. Okay, that was fun, and hopefully intelligible. Moving on, the reason why I was so brief about those three is because I talk a lot more about them in detail in my last video about the next generation of rap, so go watch that if you wanna. But finish watching this one first, and then go watch that, alright? Now, Lil Yachty. Yachty started off his career with some success off songs like Minnesota and One Night. He'd then go and make some bubblegum trap kind of music with hits like Broccoli and I Spy. He'd do this till he started fading away, until one fateful day he made a joke track messing around with friends in the studio, and a leaker got their hands on it and threatened to release it if not paid, to which Yachty just kind of published it, which is pretty funny. I mean, that's hilarious, right? Like, come on. This would then spark a second arc in his career with Let's Start Here, a funk-driven psychedelic and funkish. Why did I say funk twice in the script? I'm stupid! Anyways, Let's Start Here is a funk-driven psychedelic album, which a lot of people enjoyed over time. Now it's starting to sound like he survived, right? Well, I wouldn't say so, because I didn't count him for a couple reasons I feel add up to DQ him here. He hasn't made a solo album since 2023, which that album was like, you know, it was very experimental. It wasn't what he was doing in his career, right? And if we count the collab albums since then, they aren't good, like, genuinely. He needs to abandon Concrete Boys at this point. Like, if the man didn't go 0 for 3 on the last albums he put his name on, I would have taken him out of this and counted him as a survivor. But, I mean, I guess there is worse. You could go 0 for 3 in one night like Drake did!
Lane is my favorite person to work with though, because it's just ooh, Lil Wayne.
Next up is Denzel Curry, and yeah, he survived. He had Kings of the Mischievous South Volume 2 in 2024, solid 8. He also had Strictly for the Scythe with his new group, the Scythe Boys or something like that. I don't know what they call themselves, but that was a solid 7, very fun album. This new group lineup includes ASAP Ferg, BK the Rula, Key Nayate, who I've never heard of, Tina Cornine, who also I've never heard of, and of course Zell himself. I'll give you the reason I think he survived at the end of the video when I'm intentionally talking about the survivors. Next, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the actual dead ones. I mean, there's not much to say about them. We all know the story pretty much. First up is Lil Peep. He died in 2017, at the age of 21 from an overdose. Next is XXXTentacion, who died of a fatal shooting because he had a lot of cash on him, buying a motorcycle back in 2019 at the age of 20. And the final death of the SoundCloud era that we're going to be talking about today is Juice WRLD. He OD'd on his plane trying to hide drugs from the cops who were searching the plane. Sadly, at the age of 21, I believe it was back in 2019. These guys were like some actually decent artists. And if they're your favorite, you might want to skip the next like minute of this video. Now, whenever anyone dies, it's sad. But I will say, I'm tired of seeing these motherfuckers out here trying to impress the dead by holding these guys up like they were some god amongst men. For their time, they were good, and are a good example of music from that time. But nothing they dropped would hold up today. None of their styles would be the same. A dead artist does not mean good art. I still, no joke, know people who post on dead artists' birthdays and be like, I can't believe it's been 8 years since Juice has been gone. My brother, for no joke, refuses to admit Juice WRLD isn't top 3 rappers of all time. If you're curious, his other 2 are Meek Mill and Drake. I don't even care if you listen to them, but stop saying that Juice WRLD would be the king of rap by now, or X would be. There is zero evidence to support that. They would most likely be the opposites, viewed as products of their time, like Smoke Perp and Lil Pump. I'm sorry if that came off in a mean tone, but it's genuinely makes me angry to see people talking in such high regard about some very mid artists just because they've sadly died. Moving on, speaking of my brother, next we are talking about Clown. First one on the chopping block is 6ix9ine. This guy, I don't even know. Bro, he's goofy as hell. He'd often do stunts where he'd rage bait entire genres of music and then play it off as if they're scared of him and he was this big bad foe. Like one time he went and talked shit about O-Block, then he'd visit it for all of 10 seconds, and when nobody pressed him during his visit, he'd say they were scared of him. And that's why they weren't coming out.
I should call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, blood?
312, right? Pulled up 312 and it's 320. This when he get his ass out. But niggas supposed to call him in this little short period of time. See how long he stays in his video a motherfucker. Yep. Not even a whole minute. Bro, jump in the car real fast.
He'd get arrested for just being a scumbag or something like that. He'd snitch. After he got out of jail, he'd then get Kodak Black on a song where Kodak would just make fun of him, saying the only reason he was doing it was for the bag in the song itself. Again, fucking hilarious. Like, oh my god, how clueless do you have to be to listen back to that verse after he sends it in and not hear him calling you a fucking rat? Are you kidding me, bro? Also, I'm pretty sure there's a video of him admitting to fucking Bad Baby before Bad Baby was 18. Or the fucking Dr. Phil girl, whatever her fucking name is.
Basically, you were charged with 3 counts that basically says, you know, there's different situations. They say
It
the
was
first...
fondling.
Right. So in the first, they said that the child engages in oral sexual intercourse with a separately charged defendant, Taquan Anderson, while defendant Daniel Hernandez stands behind the child, making a thrusting motion with his pelvis and smacking her on her buttocks.
Yeah.
The child is nude in the video. The other video shows the child sitting on Hernandez's lap while Anderson gropes her breasts, later sitting naked across the laps of Anderson and Hernandez.
Yeah.
So this girl comes in and what? She says she's 18?
Yeah.
And you guys, this is all just underground. This is not a real video production.
Look, and this is where I feel like, this is why I feel like people just ignore the facts. Remember, I'm a person that talk facts. This whole interview, I'm talking facts. These videos, right, that you just described,
Yeah.
Where do they see these videos at? Did I send them out to the prosecutors themselves? Did I send it out to the cops?
They're on YouTube?
That's what I'm saying. This is the fact that everybody ignores. Let's focus on the facts.
Yeah.
6ix9ine smacking ass of the minor, fondling, penis behind her, Taquan Anderson. Where's these videos at? How do these videos exist?
So Taquan Anderson is who?
But you see how you just proved my point? Let's focus on the videos. You see, you just
All around, just a clown. He has like 2 good songs. Don't listen to him. Don't pay tickets for his show, bro. I think you'd be a bigger clown than him if you pay tickets for his show. Next up is the dynamic duo, Smoke Perp and Lil Pump. Smoke Perp got like 5 fans maybe, Lil Pump 10. Lil Pump had Gucci Gang. Smoke Perp had the Boner freestyle.
I'm a motherfucking stoner. I'm a motherfucking boner. I got a motherfucking boner. Yeah, my effing from the bus, I got a boner. Boner.
Both of them getting very famous in different ways. They grew up as friends or something. I don't fucking know. I don't care enough to look up these hooligans and research them. I know that they fell off. Perp could be dead for all I know, and Lil Pump, I see him on gambling ads every now and then, so obviously he needs the money. Oh, and I just remembered, Pump kind of had a second arc, if you count Gucci Gang as even his first arc. His second arc started as he dissed J. Cole at a concert. J. Cole? How fucking stupid of him. Atom Bomb versus Coughing Baby. But, in all of his caring nature, J. Cole, after making a song predicting exactly how the downfall of Pump's career would come about, he sat down with him in his home and talked to the kid about what fame in rap should look like, not how the media made it. J. Cole gotta be the most humble motherfucker and coolest at the same time, because how you gonna predict exactly how this motherfucker's career would die, and then try and generously point him in a new direction? King! Next up, these following rappers had legal issues, to say the least, starting with TK, who wasn't just a rapper who blew up, he was more of a rapper whose entire rise was built around a real-life manhunt, the race. Now, it starts in 2016 when TK witnessed the shooting by his friend. They would then skip the scene and no legal issues would come from it. Then in 2017, they tried robbing a trap house, which went wrong and led to the death of Ethan Walker. Later, when interrogated by police, KK would admit to his role in the robbery, but in January to June of 2017, TK decided to run from the police. Also, I didn't mention it earlier, but they put him on house arrest, and then he decided to run, so he cut off his ankle monitor, and his friend did. During this manhunt was when TK released The Race, which was basically talking about what was happening in real time. The track would then blow up, and then later he was found to be arrested and is in jail for the next 55 years. All this kind of turned him into like a myth almost overnight, but at least the streets are a little safer. It is very interesting, though, that like The Race came out while he was doing The Race, you know what I mean? And it got popular like really fast after that. So it was like legitimately listening to a motherfucker run from the cops in real time. It's very cool story. Next, way lamer, YNW Melly. And I think the type of people who listen to this guy are the same people who like to say that they're like alpha wolves and shit, straight up. This dude's kind of a cornball. He started his career with the hit song Murder on My Mind, which is, yike, like telling in the least, right? Because of what would go on to happen. But moving on, then he'd go and drop I Am You and We All Shine, the entirety of his career, he would propel this split personalities thing he had, but he just doesn't. It's a gimmick, but he's cringe as fuck for doing it, because it's like, oh, you don't want to see my dark side when I get angry. I see red when I'm angry, princess, right? It's like, nowadays it's cringe as fuck, right? But I mean, I guess 2016 was a different time, right? Oh my god, I'm so off script right now, what the fuck? Anyways, all of them are around 2 out of 10 rapper. Product of his time for sure. I wasn't really a fan of him in 2019. I tried listening to his albums just this year again. Wasn't a fan of him. In 2019, though, his career would come to a halt as he was charged with 2 counts of murder. The trial would be declared a mistrial and is set to restart next year. I believe the people he killed, one of which was his cousin, and the other of which was in the same gang as him. So don't become friends with Melly, because he might just see red, you know? Next up is the survivors. And here we have 3 people. Denzel Curry, Playboy Cardi, and Rico Nasty. Which, I'll admit, I know nothing about Rico Nasty at all. Not qualified to talk to her about her, so I'm just gonna stick to talking about Denzel Curry and Playboy Cardi. First up, Playboy Cardi. It's pretty obvious why he managed to survive, I think, and honestly, if you told me him, out of all the artists in the SoundCloud era back in the day, that he would have survived, I wouldn't have believed you. After, he isn't my type of music, but I think that part of the reason he succeeded in the industry is because of that, because of how very different he was than what a lot of people liked in rap. He had this weird vibe to him, and he was always goofy, but later in his career, he'd kind of serious up and slowly switched to rage rap. A genre, for anyone who might not be acquainted with, rage rap is pretty much a trap beat, throw on some 808s, some synth, maybe a bit screaming, and boom, you got a Playboy Cardi type beat. Now, rage rap at the time was something completely new, and he pioneered it, starting the Opium label, where he would then play pretend vampire with his fellow signees, Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. They would later sign Homicide Gang, which is spelled like this for some reason, but is pronounced Homicide Gang. But like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people already say rappers have stupid names. You really gonna feed them with this shit, bro? Come on. Anyways, then in 2025, he signed ASAP Nast, which, like, why? From what I remember of him, which I haven't listened to him in a while, and the album was made a decade ago, but on Long Live ASAP, I believe he was on there, and I don't remember him being anywhere near a rage rapper. And I mean, I guess the album did come out a decade ago, so maybe he's a rager now, or vamp. What do you actually call these guys? I genuinely don't know. I've heard people call them vamps, VPL, ragers is what I've always called them. Whatever. Anyways, Cardi survived because he just made a bunch of mini-me's. And he also completely defined a genre, right? It's not just because of fucking Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely that he's... But there's also Osama Sun and some other people who've taken a lot of inspiration from him. But he does find this genre, right? So his influence is likely going to change music for a good long while. And though he has cemented himself for the years to come, barring that, like, he murders somebody or, like, I don't know, something happens, though. Anyways, that's enough about Cardi. Now on to Denzel.
Curry the killer, I'm back in the building, I kick in the door and I bust up the ceiling. Y'all niggas don't want it, I'm ready, I'm willing. You get him, I got him, I tell him let's go.
Now, Curry the Killer is one of my all-time favorite artists, and if just 3 years ago, before I really listened to his music, you asked me who from the 2016 class was going to wash out first, I would have picked him. I thought that everyone but him had something to make themselves stand out. You know, 21 Savage had that ATL sound with that gangster life rap parts. Yachty had that bubblegum trap shit, which was pretty new at the time, didn't really catch on, but made him appealing to a lot of people. Uzi was a nerd. Kodak had such personality and can control his voice so well. And to me, Curry didn't have anything like that to really entice me. But I was wrong, because he had lyricism, something that no other person from that class actually had. As well, he wasn't really wanting to be them. He didn't have someone he was trying to be like 21 did. You know, he wasn't trying to pretend to be someone else. He was himself. He made the art and music for himself, not for the mainstream appeal. So when he got better over time, the mainstream came more naturally to him, especially after all of his competition's careers kind of died. It was free reign from him for the past few years. And I think his success is a great example of why people will understand your value eventually, as long as you know you're valuable. And different from everyone else, people will appreciate you eventually. I'm glad I came to appreciate Mr. Curry. Now, with that being said, we're going to the end of this video. Just kidding. Rico Nasty, motherfuckers. I looked into her, and I'm glad I did. I wasn't going to talk about her because I didn't know who she was. Now I got a pretty good handle on it. And I think she is actually the perfect artist to also serve. She kind of serves as a middle ground for these two vastly different artists. As on one hand, she is kind of a rager, as she calls it, a screamer. And I don't like that name though, so I'm going to keep calling her a rager. But the only reason she stuck out to her fans is she wasn't using the template that Cardi made like everyone else's. She's doing her own thing, carving out her own little niche, very similar to how Mr. Curry did it. And she seems very wholesome, so that's nice. I'm not a fan of her music. I listened to her newest album, Lethal Lore. I think I listened to the deluxe, which was Lethal Lore. And it was a 4 out of 10 for me. Not a fan of it, just like I'm not a fan of Cardi's music. But you know who I am a fan of? Rico Nasty and Cardi themselves. I don't like their music, but I like what they do for music. Okay, little side tangent. I don't understand why Sexy Red and Ice Spice are more popular than Rico Nasty and people like, you know, Doechii and Glorilla even, right? Rico Nasty and Ice Spice only have two things they talk about. For Ice Spice, it's getting fucked and shit jokes for some reason. Sexy Red just likes to brag about how she can shake ass decently and how everyone wants to fuck her. I don't understand that part. Looks like a dude. I've said that before many times. Sexy Red looks like a dude. Don't understand why her name's Sexy. But more so, Rico Nasty, Doechii, and Glorilla don't really talk about objectifying themselves, right? They don't talk about letting men fuck them. They don't talk about shaking ass that much. They have some of that in their music, right? But that's just a part of their life, right? They're a woman. So, like, you know, that's kind of part of their... That's something they can talk about. You know, I can't talk about shaking ass as a dude. They can talk about it. So, like, doing it a little bit is fine. Like, Rico Nasty, from what I've heard of Rico Nasty, she doesn't talk about it that much. Doechii doesn't talk about it that much. Glorilla, I've not really heard talk about it that much. But for some reason, Sexy Red and Ice Spice, that's all they talk about. And they're some of the most popular female artists. Why? Genuinely, why? It's burger music. They have no personality. At least Rico Nasty and Doechii have personality attached to their music. Sorry if I sound like a Discord mod, but like, holy shit, bro. Come on. Now, after that tangent, sorry about that. Big question, though. Why did this group die out so fast? They had so much hype around them. And, well, I think it's pretty simple. In 4 words, I'd say, too comfortable, not competitive. Now, let's start with those first 2 words. Too comfortable. What do I mean by that? A lot of people on this list got where they were not through trying a bunch of different stuff and seeing what sticks to make themselves stand out, but rather went with the same kind of like personality we've seen a lot in rap. You know, the gangster rapper, you see the fucking little nerdy rappers, stuff like that nowadays. A lot of them. And this works to set up your career a bit, but eventually you'll get repetitive. And then you won't know how to change your style because you got too comfortable with it. and you've never actually had to pivot. Nick's not competitive. And by that, I mean, who has dissed who in this generation? Like, both people from SoundCloud era. I couldn't tell you a single beef about the SoundCloud era that involved both SoundCloud rappers, or is even started by a SoundCloud rapper. There's just not that competitive scene that we see in a lot of the older generations from rap's roots even. And I think it's because all of them are doing their own thing, which is awesome, but rap is built off that competitive nature. You used to see it all the time. People throwing shots at people. Look at Kendrick's and all the beefs he's won. Look at Drake and all the beefs he's lost. Look at Tyler's discography. He's throwing shots at Kanye and some other people. There's Nas and Jay-Z, Big, Pac, Eminem, Benzino. Rap is at its best when the culture is split. Not because we are fighting, but because rappers are fighting for us. Alright, end of the video. Boom. Whew, that was fun, huh? Now, I know this is a short one, but I did want to get at least 3 or 4 videos done for this channel before my little break ended now, so this one had to be a little shorter, although it is coming up on like 25 minutes, so I thought it would be like 10, honestly, so it's worked out, kinda. One thing I'd like to talk about during this ending, there's actually a couple things now, but when I was writing the script, the one thing I mostly want to talk about, and I will be talking about now, here, let me put this pop filter down. I'm sorry if quality goes down, but I'm tired of holding that thing. I've been holding that thing for like 3 hours now, holy shit, right? Why did I want to start this channel, and why did I want to have these 3 or 4 videos done? I have 4 videos done now, so there is, Next Generation of Rap, a video about Jid and why he's underrated, this video about SoundCloud, and then a video of me just ranking a bunch of albums. I'll probably get another one of those like little easier to make videos done before I release them all also. And why am I making 5 and not releasing any of them yet? So, reasoning started with I want to make sure I can commit to this, right? Doing like a weekly video, bi-weekly video. Because I've had some other channels, I've enjoyed making videos, but the consistency has always been where I'm lacking. So I wanted this one to be more consistency-based to kind of help me in that realm, right? That's why I'm waiting to make 5 videos, because if I would have just made 1 video and then I was like, well, I gotta make another one for next week, I might not have made it. I might not have gotten this far even. So that's kind of the reason. Next, I want to talk about why did I start this channel? I might have talked about this in the Jid video or the other video. I don't think I did, though, that I can remember. I love hip-hop. I've always loved hip-hop. One of my favorite genres, music. I love music in general. I could talk about the art of it for hours. It's like all I talk about with my friends, pretty much. And it's just like, I've always loved editing videos. That's where this started. So it started, I had a video game channel. Don't really like editing video games, but I like editing videos. So I was like, okay, well, if I just like make videos of me talking about rap, I'll have videos to edit, you know, because I don't want to like do video games anymore. But then I didn't realize I had to like do scripting and then also audio. Like I've learned Audition for this whole process. So that's like a new skill I've learned, which is dope, you know. I can add that to my resume now, which is cool. This is just for experience. Like, I just love doing this stuff. If it fucking goes somewhere, I'd love to build fucking a career out of this. I don't think that'll happen, you know what I mean? But if it does, hell yeah. I'd so be down. What else I want to talk about? I got a job. So I was going to go to Texas. I believe I mentioned this in the Jid video. Was going to move to Texas. The day I was leaving, I legitimately had an apartment, brother. I had everything set up. I had power going to that apartment before I was even in the state. And as I was going to leave my hometown, my car shit out on me. So I had to call the apartment and be like, hey, can you postpone it for like a week? They were like, we have to charge you $100 a month extra. Beep, hung up. What the fuck? That would have taken my rent from like $800 a month to $900, not counting utilities and shit. No, fuck you, fuck that. What piece of shit? So I've been back in my hometown for about a month now. It's been about a month since I made that first video. So I've been able to make 3 videos a month. That's pretty good. 4 videos a month if you count that like kind of snoozier one. So that's pretty good consistency, I guess. So yeah, but I got offered a job while I was at an award show the other day for a production company, which was kind of what I was going to Texas to do anyway. So I'm gonna take that job. It's about 2 hours away from me. I'll have to move, and then hopefully I'll be down in Texas by in Austin specifically in a couple years. But like this job is doing the exact thing I want to do down in Texas. Barring that this YouTube stuff doesn't work out, that's kind of my backup plan, right? So I've been telling everyone I want to get in the production industry and just doing this on the side, but really I want to get into this industry, and if this doesn't work out, I have production. I love doing that live event production shit, doing live lighting, live audio, live camera work, all that shit, doing graphics, fucking all that shit. Can script now because of this stuff, which is awesome, but I love doing that stuff, so it's a good backup plan. I would much rather do this stuff though. That's pretty much it on why I'm doing it. It's very sad that I didn't get to go Austin. Like I like saddest I've been since middle school, bro. That when my car broke down that day, bro. Oh, I could have cried, bro. I might have cried actually. I don't remember. It was like a month ago now, but now that this video's been, I've recorded my audio. I just need to edit this video. I'm gonna try not to, because in my last video, I've relied on music videos a lot throughout the entire thing. I did not like the last video I made, by the way, about the next generation of hip-hop. I liked the talking points I made. Editing it was not fun, so don't expect another tier list like video again, unless that one does fucking like crazy numbers, or like everyone just loves it and keeps asking me for it or some shit. Won't do it again. I guess if you like it though, let me know. I might. I won't throw it off the table, right? But yeah. Yeah, so I start that job hopefully soon. I just emailed the guy yesterday. I should probably get a response back tomorrow because it's still the weekend for them. They're still off. And hopefully he'll be like, yeah, you can do this, this, and this. And you can start then. So might have to do bi-weekly if I'm working a bit too much. I don't know. I also have to now get an apartment for that place. As soon as the job's confirmed, right, I have to get an apartment. Basically get a new life set up in a different town. So might wait till after that to actually post these. Maybe I'll get a couple more, or maybe I'll probably just post these, to be honest with you. I've been waiting too long, right? But if I don't make a video for like a month after this, it's not because I'm leaving, okay? It's because I'm busy. Like, so busy. And these videos, like, I'm probably on hour 20 of this video, and I haven't even put it in Premiere yet. Alright, like, I don't even have any B-roll and shit yet, you know what I mean? So it's gonna probably take 30 hours for this one. Last one probably took about 35 hours total. Like, it's a lot more work than I thought it would be, bro. It's taking up so much my time, bro. Oh my lord. I haven't had anything else to do. I've been fucking unemployed for like a month now. It sucks. It's awesome because I can work on these, and I've gotten these done a lot faster than I thought it would. I thought it would take me like 4 or 5 months to do all like 3, 4, 5 of them that I wanted to do. It's not. It's taking me like a month to do all of them, which is nice because I've had this time, right? Anyways, we're at the 30-minute mark. Holy shit, I'm sorry to be talking this long. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.